Welcome everyone to our Monday You're Worth It series. We're going to start our practice today on our in a seated position, in this easy position. So just come into your mat, find a nice comfortable position. If it's crossing your legs like this, if you need to sit up on your block, whatever you need to do to be comfortable just sitting. Then I just want you to bring your hands onto your knees, draw your shoulder blades down your back. We're going to start into a little bit of breath work just in a seated position. Think about sending the crown of your head up towards the sky, just lengthening out your spine a little bit, maybe softening your eyes, and starting to take that nice long breath in and match that with an exhale. And each time you take that nice long breath in, see if you can lengthen it out just a little bit, allowing yourself to just fill your lungs and then press all the air out, letting your shoulders drop down on your back even a little bit further. Still thinking about sending the crown of your head up towards the sky. So you really feel like you're lengthening out here, almost feeling like your spine is getting longer while you're sitting here. Using your breath here, inhaling and exhaling. We've been setting intentions for our practice this month. As I mentioned last week, an intention is just a plan for your practice. Sometimes it's a plan for your practice, and sometimes it's a plan for your day. But today we'll just focus on what your plan is, or your intention for today's practice. When you're ready, take one more big inhale, bringing your breath back to a more comfortable pace, and bring your arms up all the way up overhead so that your palms touch. And then I want you to look up, see your palms, take a nice breath in here, start to really lengthen out again, setting the shoulder blades down your back, but the crown of your head up. And then as you release your hands, start to turn over to the right, letting your right hand come behind you, your left hand on your right knee. Start to gaze over your shoulder, starting to look over that right shoulder. And then when you can see over your shoulder, start to draw your chin down towards your chest. We'll take an inhale here and an exhale. And then releasing your hands, coming back to center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, bringing your hands up, all the way up, palms touch, and then releasing, letting that left hand find your left knee. Your left hand finds behind you, and your right hand finds your left knee. Start to gaze over your left shoulder, nice and gentle here. And then when you can see over your shoulder, start to draw your chin down towards your chest, lengthening out. Take a nice big inhale and the exhale. And then releasing, coming forward. We're going to plant our palms in front of us on the mat and just walk your palms out, keeping your sit bone on your mat. I want you to just walk your palms out as far as you can comfortably walk them out. If you are able to drop your elbows down towards the mat in front of you, go ahead. If you need to bring your block in, bring the block in. Or if you just want to stay up on your hands and let your elbows just float in the air, that's great too. You're just lengthening out here, but you want to make sure that your sit bone is still on the mat. And so that you almost feel like with your hands pressed into the earth, that you're pressing back, pressing your sit bone in the mat, pressing your hands into the mat. And then again, that lengthening of your spine. So with your sit bone there, you're sending your crown of your head forward and you're lengthening out, bringing your chest down close to the mat. Take a nice big breath in. And the exhale. And then walking our hands all the way back up. We're just going to send our legs out straight in front of us. Keep in mind which one you bring out first. And then we're just going to opposite them, bring them in. So I'm going to bring my left back in, followed by my right. We're going to do just that front move again. So bringing your arms in front of you, planting your hands on the mat right in front of you, keeping yourself on the mat. Start to walk your palms away from your legs. And then let your elbows come towards your mat. Bring your block in if you need to. Float there, or bring your elbows all the way down to the mat in front. Same idea here. Press into your hands and root in through your sit bone, sending your shoulder blades down your back and the crown of your head forward. Your chest just becomes heavy towards the earth, and you're going to let gravity work a little bit here, using your breath, creating those spaces. Nice big inhale, and the exhale. And one more breath in, and the breath out. And then walking your hands all the way back up, coming back into our easy seat. We're going to come into our tabletop. So coming into your hands below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. We're going to warm up with a little bit of crunches here. So sending your right arm out in front of you and sending your left leg out nice and long. So opposite arm to leg. Point your toes, send your fingertips as long as you can. So really lengthen out your body here. And then we're going to draw that elbow in towards your knee, underneath your body, pressing through your right hand or your left hand, whichever hand is pressed into the mat, and then send it all the way back out nice and long. Pressing through your hand one more time, rounding in your spine here, really dropping your head down, bringing your elbow into your knee, and then one more time all the way out. One last time, all the way in, pressing through your hand, really creating that space like in your cat. So you're rounding in here and then all the way out nice and long. Bringing your hand down to the mat, bringing your knee down, and we're going to switch sides. Sending your left hand out and your right foot out nice and long. Keep them as far apart as you can, toes and fingers away from each other. Lengthening out. Keep yourself balanced in your mat, though. You want to root into your right hand and through your left knee, and then start to draw them underneath. Rounding your back, drawing in, keeping that nice high cat, and then sending it all back out. One more time, all the way in, rounding in, and all the way back out. And last one, all the way in, rounding in, and all the way out, pointing out. Bringing your hand back down and your knee back down. We're going to tuck our toes here and go up into our first downward facing dog. Take a bit of a breath here. Pedal into your feet. Bring your chest close to your quads. Let your head hang heavy. Bring your biceps forward and your triceps back. And then we'll find a breath of stillness here. Nice big inhale. And the exhale. We're going to come into warrior one. So draw your right knee up nice and tight, chest. Come up high on your left toes. Press through your hands. Look to where your hands are in the front of your mat and draw your right foot up, planting it between your hands. Your back foot is going to go at a 45-degree angle. Press it down, and then we're going to come up into warrior one. Bending into your front knee. You want to be able to see your toes beyond your knee. Start to draw the front of your body into the back of your body. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Your arms are up towards the sky. Palms are facing each other. And you're nice and strong here in your warrior one. You want to be able to feel your front foot and your back foot equally. So wiggling your toes, pressing your heels into the mat, all while you're pulling your belly button towards your spine, creating all that space. Nice big inhale. And the exhale. And then from here, we're going to draw our arms back behind us, coming into like runner's lunge, like you have wings, sending them long behind you. Begin putting the crown of your head towards the front of the room, nice and long here in your high lunge. Take an inhale here, slide those shoulder blades back, and the exhale. On your next inhale, bring your palms together in front of you. We're going to do an upper body twist. So taking your left elbow towards your right knee, keeping your upper body nice and high. Start to look over towards the right. Keeping your feet pressed into the mat. This is an upper body twist, so stay nice and high. As you begin to look over that right shoulder, can you see your right shoulder now as you twist over? Keep drawing the front of your body into the back of your body, and you get that little further twist. Take a nice big inhale here, and an exhale. We're going to challenge it a little bit more by opening your hands. So releasing from your hands and sending your right arm behind you and your left arm in front of you. Nice big open. Still bending into that front knee. Still looking back over your right hands. Start to draw your left fingertips up towards the sky and let your right fingertips find the hamstring of your left leg. Still looking over your right shoulder, lengthening out nice and long here on your left. Now you might be able to see the mat and your shoulder as you lengthen out. Nice and long, pressing into your feet. Well done. Take a nice breath here. And that exhale. And then bring your right arm up, back to the sky. Whole body comes back forward. We're going to bring your left foot. I'm going to get you to come up onto the ball of your foot. So just a bit of a pivot here on your left foot. Come up onto the ball, send your back heel back towards that invisible wall behind you. And then we're going to just drop that knee down. Good job. Nice control here. Keeping those toes tucked if you can. And scooch that right foot forward a little bit. You don't want to have any trouble with your knee. So you want to keep your knee behind your ankle and then allow gravity to come into this little low lunge. Still pulling the front of your body back to your back body and start to walk your eyes up the wall, giving you a little bit of a back extension. Not too far up, just to maybe where the wall and the ceiling meet. Nice and strong here. Good job. Nice big inhale. And the exhale. Now we're going to bring our hands back into heart center. We're going to do those same moves on low lunge. So starting to take that left elbow towards the right knee. Stay nice and high again here in this upper body twist. And can you find your shoulder again? Looking over your right shoulder. Nice twist. Lots of balance going on in your lower body. Still keeping those left toes tucked if you can. And then we'll finish here with that inhale. And the exhale. We're going to release our hands, send the left back front and the right back nice and long again, just like we did when we were standing. And then finishing it by bringing that left hand up towards the sky and letting your right hand find your left hamstring as you're fighting your balance, looking over your shoulder and finding your mat. Lengthening out there on the left side, nice and long. Use your breath here, open those spaces. Root into that front right foot, keeping your balance with all your wobbles. Good job. Nice big inhale. And then on the exhale, bring your right arm forward. Come all the way forward. Plant your hands down around your foot. And then we're going to step back. Coming in back into our tabletop and then pressing back up into our downward facing dog. And lucky yes, we're going to do all that on the other side. Just taking an inhale here. And an exhale. And then when you're ready, draw your left knee up nice and tight into your chest. Come up nice and high on your right toes. Press through your hands. Create that space as tight as you can bring your left leg into your body. And then draw it forward and plant it in your hands. That back foot is going to go to that 45-degree angle. And we're going to come up into warrior one on this side. Bending into your front knee. So bending into your left. Look down. I want you to see your toes. Keep drawing that knee in more towards the pinky toes so you keep that nice alignment. Draw the front of your body into the back of your body. And your gaze is forward. Shoulder blades are down your back. Nice and strong here, warrior one. Wiggle your toes. You want to feel both sets of toes equally. And heels, root your heels in. You want to be equal on that as well. Take an inhale. And the exhale. And then we're going to draw our arms past our eyes, setting them back behind us like our runner's lunge, setting our shoulder blades down our back, setting the crown of head forward, letting you lengthen out here, still pressing through your feet. So keep equal amount of weights on your feet as you come into your runner's lunge, nice and long, really rooting into that front leg. Maybe perhaps you have to press it back a little bit so that you have equal amount of weight in both of your legs. And then we're going to draw our hands up to heart center and we'll move through our balancing. Start to draw your right elbow towards your left knee. Come into that upper body twist And we'll start to bring our gaze over our left shoulder this time. Keep drawing your belly button towards your spine as it allows you to have a bit more of a twist. And then you come into that left shoulder. Using your breath, nice big inhale. And the exhale. We're going to open up, sending our right arm forward and our left arm back. Still seeing those fingertips. Maybe you get a little bit more of a twist with that little bit more of leverage. And using your breath. And start to draw your right arm up towards the sky, letting your left arm come back and find the hamstrings of your right leg. Your gaze is coming over the left shoulder. Now you're seeing the mat and your shoulder, and you're really lengthening out here on the right. Nice and long. Use your breath. Root into your feet. Very good. Awesome. Take your breath here. And the exhale. And then drawing that arm forward, coming back forward. We're going to do the same we did on the other side. We're going to come up onto the ball of our right foot, flex that heel back. So we're going to be up onto the ball of our right foot. And you're going to start to drop your knee down, keeping those right toes tucked if you can, and come into this low lunge. Again, you can just scoot that left foot forward if you need to, and then allow your hips to come into a little bit of flexion here, bringing your hips forward equally and allowing your gaze to maybe come up the wall a little bit, coming to where the wall and the ceiling meet, giving you a very small back extension. Awesome. Take an inhale and the exhale. And then we'll bring our hands into heart center and we'll do our twists on our low body. So start to bring our right elbow towards our left knee. Keep this upper body twist. Keep drawing your belly button back towards your spine, looking over your left shoulder. Awesome. Keep that twist going. Inhale here and the exhale. And then releasing your hands, setting your right one in front and your left one back. Again, just finishing with that open twist. Maybe a little bit more leverage there as you can twist a little bit more with your upper body. Still your lower body is rooted in and you've got that right foot flexed. Nice big inhale as you bring your left arm back forward. Coming back in, we're going to frame our hands around our left foot this time. And we're going to draw that left knee back, coming into tabletop. And then I want you to just send back your left foot and then send back your right foot, coming into a plank pose. In your plank pose, you want to be nice and strong here. Option always is to drop your knees, but if you come up into your full plank pose, you want to really root, regardless of where you are, root your fingertips into the mat, taking some of the pressure off your wrists and your shoulders. Widen out your fingertips as wide as you can, and keep your index fingers pointed towards the front of the mat. That's allowing those biceps to come forward and the triceps back. Then we're going to just drop down our knees, untuck our toes, and come into your forearms. So put your left elbow where your left wrist is and your right elbow where your right wrist was. And we're going to come all the way down, bringing our bellies down towards the mat, and we're going to land in this Sphinx pose. So you're going to have your upper body up off the mat, almost to where your breastbone is, and then your forearms are in the mat, pressed into the mat. Your hands are at the top of the mat, or where if you put your head down right now, where your head would be. So in your Sphinx pose, we're going to just take a breath here and an exhale. From here, we're going to come into Cobra if it's comfortable for your lower back. So where you are right now, I want you to slide. I think actually I'm going to get you to come all the way down towards the mat, bringing your chest all the way down towards the mat, bringing your face down, facing down. And then I'm going to get you to slide your hands down towards your chest so that your hands now are right beside your chest, nice and wide still, opening them up. Keep your elbows tight into your body. And then we're going to press up again in your Cobra, lifting up a little bit more of a back extension here. So if that's uncomfortable, then just stay back in your Sphinx. And you don't want to come up too high. You're just coming up to about your belly button. Still send your shoulder blades down your back. Your gaze is very neutral here. Don't try to look up the wall. At most, you're looking at where your baseboards are. And then you're going to take an inhale here and an exhale. And then we're going to come all the way down in our cobra pose. Resting your right cheek on the mat, send your arms back behind you, and then allow the palms to go into the mat. We're going to do a lower pose, and then we're going to come into full locust pose. So in the lower pose, we're going to bring our lower body off the mat. So your upper body just rests in the mat. I would keep your chin on the mat or looking down. Don't have your cheek on the mat. You want to be very neutral here. And then when you're ready, start to draw your feet up, then your knees up. And can you bring your quads up and have only, for your lower body, can you only have your pubic bone pressed into the mat? How much can you draw up using lots of control and muscle as you slowly draw everything off the mat in your lower body? Lifting up nice and strong here, using your breath to guide you. It's a very strong move, so just use as much as you can to come up, keeping your upper body nice and neutral. Inhale. One more breath, and then release. And then rest your left cheek on the mat, and we'll take a breath here to reset. And then we're going to do both. We're going to send our upper body and our lower body up off the mat. So only our core body is going to be left in the mat. So option number one here is to send your arms back behind you. Bring your heels towards you, and you can find your ankles with your hands if you want to go into full locust. If you can't reach your ankles, no worries. Just bring your ankles up towards, so bringing your heels up towards your glutes, sending your arms back behind you, and then just reaching back. So your upper body is up off of the mat, and your lower body is up off the mat, and you're in a full locust pose. Sending those arms back nice and long, sending your shoulder blades down your back, bringing your heels towards your glutes, lifting your quads up off the mat, nice and strong. Take a nice big breath in. And a breath out. One more nice reach and then release. And allow whatever cheek felt the best to rest onto the mat. Take a breath here. Do a bit of a recheck. And then bring your hands up right by your chest again. We're going to press all the way through, up through cobra, coming back, sitting back into our heels, coming into child's pose. So coming all the way back, sitting your glutes all the way down, widening out your knees as you come, giving you lots of space to let your belly drop down into the mat, bringing your chin down to the mat or your forehead, whichever is comfortable, and just completely relaxing into your child's pose. If it's uncomfortable for your shoulders, you can draw them back behind you. So letting them almost rest on your quads. And then come into a couple of breaths here. Allowing your back to have this little sort of counter twist going on. Take a nice big inhale. And the exhale. And then coming all the way up into your hero pose. We're going to finish tonight on our back. We're going to do a supine twist. I love supine twists. Bring your block if you have a block, because I think they always work so well with supine twists. So on a supine twist, you want to just be all the way down on your back, just lengthened out, almost like your shavasana. But then bring the soles of your feet to the mat and press them in. We're going to do just a standard supine twist here tonight. So you're going to bring your arms into a big T and shift your hips a little bit over to the right, and then let your knees fall over to the left. Now here's where your block comes in. You can throw your under your knees as they come over to the left, catching them so that you really can feel like your upper body, your shoulders are still nice and supported in the mat, and you still have this nice lower twist going on. So depending on where you're at in your twist. You want to be able to keep your shoulders in the mat. So if you start to lift up your shoulders, then definitely put that block in there. You'll see right away, it just feels so much better. And then because our knees are over onto the left side, we're going to look over to the right side and we're going to get a really nice twist here. And just allow that to lengthen out. Use your breath here a little bit to reset. And always make your little micro adjustments. If it doesn't feel good, just move a little bit. You want it to feel good. And then bringing your gaze back up to center, drawing your knees back up to center. We're going to shift our hips back to center. And then this time we're going to move them over to the left just a little bit. Let our knees drop over to the right. Again, move your block if by chance you haven't already. And let all those little muscles just soften into your mat. And then allow your gaze to come over to the left, giving you that full lengthening, this time on your right side. You almost can feel, at least I always feel in supine twist, that my spine is sort of long and straight, and that all the muscles and tendons and fascia all around my spine are twisting. Feels so good. And then bringing your gaze back to center and drawing your knees back up to center, shifting your hips back to center. And I was going to finish with happy baby. I don't know what time it is, but I'll still draw a little happy baby here. So bring your legs up towards the sky and just have your feet nice and relaxed so your toes are just floating there. And then with happy baby, you really just want to draw your knees in towards your armpits. So you start to allow your knees to be heavy here and fall towards your arms. And then if you want, you can grab the outsides of your feet if that's comfortable. Otherwise, you can grab the outsides of your ankles. And then you just allow your knees to come down towards your armpits, opening up your hips and letting that little playfulness finish our practice with your feet, however you want to be. And using your breath always to open up those little spaces. And then we'll finish in that happy baby tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I hope you have a great evening. Namaste, everyone.